Sunshine makes me smile every time. And sunshine feels good to be alive. And as we ride, she warms our face. And sunshine makes me smile every time. Sometimes I feel not so alone. That sweet feeling of coming home. Coming home, yeah. Coming home, yes. Sunshine makes me smile every time. And sunshine feels good to be alive. And as we ride, she warms our face. Sunshine, yeah, she makes me smile every time. Every time, every time, every time.
Wow, buddy. Chad Hollister.
JD Green.
Damn, it's good to see you, brother.
You too, man.
Oh,
we
I'm so happy.
communicate all the time, and it's nice to be in front of you.
Do you know that I think this is a given here. I think you and I have had more conversations on microphones than we have without.
That's fair.
I'm serious.
As Bodie would say, that's valid.
Oh my God, is that what he's saying these days? How old is Bodie? How old?
Bodie's 15.
And oh my God.
Yeah, Riley's 18.
And she just graduated?
Yeah, it's crazy. Because I don't know how. Because I mean, I'm still 20.
I know
right?
you're 20, but it's amazing because the salt and pepper that you're dyeing your hair with is it's outstanding. Whatever brand it is,
I know.
It's perfect.
I like to look older.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people they're trying to look younger. I just like to look older.
You want to look older, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, happy. Speaking of your kids, happy Father's Day.
Thank you, man. You too.
You're probably one of the. You're probably one of the most kick-ass dads that I've ever known, man.
I appreciate that, man.
Do you get all? Do you get strict? Do you get mean?
Yeah,
do you get ugly?
I'm the strict one. Katie's the lenient one.
Why is that? What do you think?
Well, and we go back and forth a little bit. When it comes to like Bodie driving the car, she's pretty strict on him, and I'm like, I'm more relaxed with that. So we balance each other out.
Yeah.
And we're definitely always on the same page. That's the beautiful thing. Like we've had parents that are on complete different pages, and that's painful.
Yeah.
Because you watch the kids getting herked and jerked into from mom to dad's way, and so I think we certainly have our disagreements here and there, but really we're on the same page. But the kids are amazing.
I have to tell you, man, I've
so
bumped
great.
into your kids in public without you and Katie around.
They love you.
Dude, they are just like the most wonderful, respected, respectful kids. I mean, they're just wonderful. They're great.
Yeah, they're awesome. I mean, we were writing. I say we, but I was. For Riley's college essays. She's taking a gap year, by the way, and traveling. I think first spot's going to be Panama.
Amen.
which is so
Amen.
sick. So love it.
Totally agree.
And the first line, I was like, "Hey, how about this? I grew up in bars," because you want to capture their attention with these people that are reading thousands of these darn essays,
Yeah.
And she didn't end up using it, but I thought it was good. I grew up in bars and theaters.
Oh, yeah.
Or I grew up backstage.
Oh, that backstage.
That's
yes.
a good one.
Which there's really a whole hell of a lot of truth to that.
Yo, totally. They did. They
Big
have.
time.
Yeah. And
I don't know when it was when I met you, early 2000s, and I don't know how old the kids were then, but I remember some of your shows where now I'm dating myself here. But it's amazing how much time has gone by.
Yeah, 05 and 07 is when they were born. So you know we were friends certainly when they were tykes.
My God.
Yeah.
You're going to be performing this weekend at the Concert Meadow at Trapp Family Lodge.
Yes, sir.
This is year number what now? I know it's at least 2.
3, the third
This
annual.
is 3.
Yeah, last year we did it on Father's Day, and that was great. But this year, Father's Day wasn't available, so I was like,
Yeah.
let's do the weekend after.
Last year, Father's Day, I have vivid memories, quite frankly, that I don't think I'll ever forget, of listening to Chad Hollister and his band, the backdrop of the Concert Meadow,
You can't beat it.
and visually, in addition to the backdrop, seeing my little girl running around barefoot in that meadow with a red dress on and her blonde hair reflecting in the sun, and you as the foundation of that. I'll never forget it.
There's nothing more beautiful than that, and I think that's the beautiful thing about Trapp is that it's about family. You know, I mean, all of our shows are family friendly. You're not gonna hear us cussing on the mic or
Right.
talking about crazy things that maybe
Right.
sometimes, but not at these shows certainly.
Yeah.
The late night ones, you never know.
So
but yeah.
gates open at 4:30.
Yeah, for picnicking, the field. There's no seating or anything. So there's the Gold Circle seats are basically the deal with that. When you go to purchase the tickets, which you can, it's through Peak. By the way, it's Trapp's form of ticketing.
Okay.
So don't be freaked out. PEEK, and JD will post up that link to get ticks. So there's the Gold Circle, and then you bring your chair or blanket and all your food, and you can bring your your booze as well, beer, wine, anything. That we just ask that no glass and no dogs,
Obviously.
and that you carry in, carry out. So in order to do this, we have to make sure that it's a clean field when we leave, and there's trash and recyclable bins there for people, but. Take what you come with.
Who's the quintet? I mean, obviously Primo's got to be part of this.
Primo is front and center. Rudy Doth on the bass and vocals as well. Primo's singing as well. Chris Peterman on the sax. And this year we've got Tommy Deal, our drummer, coming up to
Massachusetts, right?
from Connectiit.
Connecticut.
Yep. He's in Shelton now, and he is going to be doing a different kit. We've had percussionist Yaoba did it our first year, and then last year was Stuart Payton on percussion on the congas. But this year Tommy's going to have a very different kind of hybrid kit, we call it. So it's not typical kind of sticks on there, but he'll have some bongos, he'll have a lot of cool different shakers, and different kinds of brushes that he uses. So it's not like full on rock. I've been very thoughtful about creating this show specifically for Trapp.
Yeah.
And so the acoustic quintet is kind of, you see in the poster, it's just different. It's different from the band.
Sure.
So
and let's say this, even though it's acoustic, please don't misunderstand and think that every single song that Chad is going to be playing is like the amazing one that you just played. They're not all the same. I mean, there's chill, but there's also get up on your feet, move around a little bit.
Dance. There's dancing and family vibes. And
is it possible to have dancing without Yaoba?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
I'm just checking.
Yeah, because there will be Now we'll have Tommy's kick drum in the mix, and so that there is. I mean, Tommy and Rudy create the dance, the bass and the drums. They create it, and then everything else is icing on the cake.
You have been singing, songwriting, performing. When did all this start?
Boy,
If you're going to tell me that your dad gave you a guitar when you were 3 years old for Christmas.
No, I was given a guitar, but I was horrible at it. Like I didn't know any chords or I didn't know anything. And there was inside the Life CD there is a picture of me and my grandfather, and we called it the unreleased kitchen performance because, of course, there was no recording of it, and it's a good thing there wasn't because my grandfather played harmonica.
Yeah.
His name was Poppy Joe, and he would just rip on that harmonica, and I would just sound really badly on the guitar.
I have the live CD. It's
It's a classic.
It's in my studio room at home, and I've been throwing out and just giving away CDs a lot lately over the last 5 to 10. And there's some that get separated and go over here.
Sure.
And you, Dave Keller, there's a few in there. So
DK is my man.
yeah.
Love that guy.
And he's doing well. He's running around all over the place.
Yeah, he
now,
leaves
too.
tomorrow for Buffalo. We were just on the phone. He always asks me stuff, and I ask him stuff, and we trade fours on releasing songs, and he's just he's the best, as good as it gets.
Yeah, and he's got. Speaking of Dave, he's got some a new single that's going to be released on the 7th, I think, and
cool.
and a new album in August.
Yeah,
and
that's what we were talking about. So we're doing the same thing. We're on Monday. We release on the 26th, which would have been, I don't know, it was my parents' anniversary, so it was it was on purpose that I chose that date, and it's the day after Trap.
Yeah.
This Monday, and we're releasing Inner Sovereignty that I wrote with my sister Kip.
Yeah.
But what we're doing this time, which I've never done before, is releasing singles.
Yep.
I'm probably going to do 3, certainly 3, maybe 4, and then release the whole acoustic trio record. So really excited. We have about 3/4 of it in the can, and we have special guests from Matt Schrag on mandolin to, Yaoba on percussion, of course, Chris Peterman on the sax, and Brett Lanier, oh my gosh, on pedal steel on Flowers for No Reason. He's does a lot of playing with Brett Hughes, who's a dear friend of mine and totally one of my heroes. So yeah, it's a ridiculous record, and I've never done an acoustic record. We do so much acoustic playing,
right.
And we've talked about it, and like, hey,
When can we get our hands on that?
Well, so that'll be released this fall, but each about once a month. So Monday will be the first song, which is Inner Sovereignty that I wrote with my sis Kip, and then we'll do about one a month. So let's see, where are we? June. So we'll do one July, August, September, and then I think we'll probably release it in October. And then, but it'll be on. It's going to be on all the streaming platforms. You can actually, you know what? This is the first time I don't really know what I'm doing. So that you try and create this mystique and all that stuff. Yeah. But I just put it up on my website today, and you actually can go and buy it today. I put it up an hour ago, and this is weird, like trying to figure out, because of course you get onto Spotify, you do it, and they're like, well, you can give it away, you can do this, you get that. Well, I'm already going to give it away on Spotify and all those streaming forms, so it's $1.99.
Okay.
Like I cannot grasp the fact of selling my songs for 99 cents. It just makes me feel cheap. So
yeah.
I figured let's double that and $1.99.
Wow.
So weird.
For under $5, you can get a cup of coffee and listen to the song in the car at the same time.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
An acoustic album, you said this is the first one that you're doing?
Ever.
Okay, so different animal. Totally
it's a
different.
really different animal.
Sometimes musicians, I've heard, can get very stressed out when they're trying to either perform acoustically, or you're smiling, or record acoustically, because you can't hide.
It's so true.
And I think everything's transparent.
That's the truest form for me of the music, is that element of acoustic. I mean, it all comes down to the song. I mean, we're all trying to get better as songwriters,
sure.
and performers, and then put it all together and create a show.
Mm-hmm.
And there are certain people who just can't do all those things.
Sure.
They're great writers, but they're horrible performers. I mean, I remember seeing Derek Truck. Derek, if you're listening, just don't take this bad. But I opened for him at the Snow Barn in Mount Snow, and then I got to play with him years later, and all he did is look at his feet, and he was so good. He was ripping, I mean, playing that SG through 2 Fender Twins. I mean, he's playing with the Allman Brothers, and he's like 16 years old.
Oh,
like,
my God.
Oh, man. But then so when I told him, I said, hey, man, I opened for you. He said, oh, where? I said, Snow Barn. He said, ooh.
Yeah.
That was a little rough, right? And I was like, you sounded amazing. I said, but you did stare at your feet. He's like,
wow.
He laughed so hard. But it's one of those art forms where you try and work it all together. And for me, just trying to always get better.
Yeah, stage presence is you've got to use it to engage the audience, not just through the music, but you've got to have that visual too. You're going from you've been performing with a 10-piece band now for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
And now you've got this quintet, and you're going to be recording acoustically. Where are we laying all these tracks down? Where's this happening?
So my spot I'm a huge fan of the Tank recording studio in Burlington. Ben Collette and I just. It's a great fit. My really good friends with Russ Lawton, and Russ and Ray play with Trey Anastasio from Fish in the Trey Anastasio band, and Russ and I have been buds for many years. And I said, hey, he does a ton of tracking for different bands, plays with all kinds of people, and it's just a great drummer. So a lot of people want him on their tunes, especially singer-songwriters, because he's very thoughtful to that, and it's an art form playing for a singer-songwriter. The other than like just playing in your own jam band where you kind of do whatever you want, like you really need to think about the lyrics and staying out of the way and supporting the song. But he said, oh man, hands down the Tank.
Yeah.
And so I had a great conversation with Ben, and then throughout the COVID times, you and I spoke about this. I created custom songs for people and influencers and companies, and I did all my songs there, and that kind of created the love affair. And so then I was like, well, this is where I want to do the acoustic work. We were looking at another studio with a killer engineer, Dave, in Woodstock area, New York. But it would have been traveling down, staying in hotels, and this one just felt so right. I was like, well, let's do it at home. So just give support.
Chad Hollister, my guest in the studio tonight on Aired Out. We are live. We're always live. We're never edited. We're 100% organic, which is what you bring to the table every time. You are face value, and I think a lot of people love and appreciate that you're real on the air, off the air. You're going to play another song for us here in a second. But
yeah, man.
You just mentioned COVID, and you and I stayed in touch through COVID quite a bit.
Yeah, we did.
Not an easy time for you and Dave Keller and many other musicians around the world, frankly, getting that creativity out, keeping the faucet in your heart and in your head of that creativity, keeping that faucet open.
Yeah.
Missing the engagement with an audience and being able to, you were doing all that you could with your shitty internet up in Worcester,
totally.
trying to perform and bring performance and connection to an audience. It was crazy.
The funny thing is, it was so shitty, and not one person ever complained. And we're so generous.
Isn't
and
that
like,
amazing?
And I always tried to make it better. Our friends down the road, Neha and Chris and Jack and Ruby, they had an apartment above their place, and they are in the village of Worcester. We're a mile and a half up the road. And so I would go down to their place, and even still, it was still sketchy, But it was just an amazing time, and it was definitely a lonely time without the performing live. It was weird.
Yeah.
And also here's a funny thing. I forgot how to sing, and because I wasn't, I preach, oh, you need to sing every day, blah blah blah, and I just wasn't. And now that I'm back at it, it's back, but still, I mean, those muscles, it takes years and years, and so if you don't do it, it's just it's like if an athlete stops working out.
Sure.
I came from the gym, by the way, just letting you know.
You look like you did.
and no, but you have to keep it up.
Yeah,
and,
sure.
So anyway, I did forget how to sing, and I had to just really work those muscles back up and kind of teach myself again to and build my range back, and
I am going to be asking you more about Inner Sovereignty that you wrote with your sister Kip. Where can we get that? Chad Hollister, what's the website?
ChadMusic.com.
And you can get it right now.
Now. You can get it now. It's released on all the socials and like the Spotify, the Amazon Music, blah, 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 on Monday, June 26th. But as of today, I was in my upstairs in my house, and I put it on today. I hope it works.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I hope, anyway, so that's exciting. And the artwork on there is done by Katie O'Rourke, of course.
Your wife.
And our graphic artist, George Mensch, laid the graphics of Inner Sovereignty and Chad Hollister and Kip Hollister in on that. And I love George.
When Katie, you're going to perform here in a second, but when Katie puts too much white on the canvas in an area, and you've just made a recording that didn't come out quite right, exactly perfect as you both had hoped. Do the two of you just pop your corks and just napalm each other? What happens when the shit hits the fan?
Well, it doesn't really.
We're two artists.
We keep each other. We stay out of each other's way. So she knows to not bring me a painting that's half-assed, that's half done, and I know to not bring her a song that's half done. Sometimes I will play a little bit of it, but I've learned to not to.
Yeah, right.
Maybe a rusty isn't there to not to.
Yeah.
Because it's not done, and so and if you do that, be ready for constructive criticism.
Are you each your worst enemies
yes.
to yourselves, and
totally.
Are you your toughest critics to each other?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And she's great. I mean, we it's just been amazing that she's now full-time art. I mean, she was the mom. I was touring. I was traveling all over the country, all over the world, and she raised those kids, and she knew it. As we joke around, she's like, I knew what I was signing up for. And
right.
That's big. And she did, and she wanted to be a mom, and she is an amazing mom. And then she got the lunch lady job at Doty with Neha, and she slayed that, killed it, making food for the kids, for our kids.
Yeah.
And then it was time to do her art, and she's been for 6 years creating full-time art. KatieO'RourkeArt.com, ladies and gentlemen, and her studio's right above the Savoy Theater in Montpelier with her art partner that has a studio with her is Sam Colt. And they're brilliant. Both of them are so wonderfully different. So.
Tell me about that first song you performed.
So that first one was brand new. I wrote it probably a month and a half ago, and I sit at home, I sit on that couch and break out a few different guitars and kind of sit around. Oftentimes the family will come home like, okay, Dad, it's time to put away the guitars, because they're strewn everywhere, and it just came out. I really love. I feel so blessed to live in Vermont, to live in Worcester, to be in the hills, to be on a dirt road, to have grass and mountains and trees all around me. I mean, it's crazy, and so I love that, and that's really what inspired.
Any more backyard private performances?
Sure, let's do one.
Do you have one?
I don't
planned?
have any planned, but I think we should plan one. I don't have any, but I think I'd like to do one this summer, because I do have some open stuff in August.
And of course you're going to invite me, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can fall over backwards again.
Listen, that had nothing to do with anything other than my chair was digging into the grass, and
you guys
it
should
went
have
over.
seen it right over. Ass over tea kettle. J.D. Green, ass over tea kettle. Should have seen. I think he had like Beavis and Butthead socks on. You should have seen
The
him.
problem was your wife would not stop laughing.
Well, it was so funny.
That's place another one. Chad Hollister in the studio with us on Aired Out tonight.
Be kind to one another. Be kind, yes, to our world. No place for hate, it plants a seed. It's not hard, you can see. Choose to love and to hug. So much is wasted when we don't. I see your face and your pain. I wish it all would wash away. And then the waters fill the wells. We can soak up all the hell. Just be kind to one another. Ooh, be kind to our world. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Crazy wars, we've lost our minds. Earth is gone, just give it time. And the ozone fades away, and the birds can't fly our way. Just look around, breathe the air. Sometimes life, it just ain't fair, but we move on, somehow we live. Be your best and try to give, and be kind, yeah, to one another. Ooh, you gotta be kind to our world, our world. The clouds aren't fading, my heart, she's waiting, yeah. Be kind to one another. Be kind to our world. Yeah.
Wow.
Be kind.
And that one will also be on the new album.
Yeah, oh yeah. These are all the hits. Pre-notioned hits.
Primo is
hero?
he's screaming at me on that song right there. I hear Primo.
Yeah, exactly. So Primo's line on that baby is he does a boom a boodlickit goose gadon his part. And so it's like whatever I do, I mean, I think this is the thing that we've learned in of years of playing is wherever I'm playing, he plays in the other direction. You know, and it's just become a thing. Like he is a heartbeat. You know, I mean, he's my best bud ever.
Yeah.
You know, so
he knows where you're going though. He
always
reads your mind well.
Yeah,
and I've seen you on stage step aside.
Oh yeah,
and just back up.
Oh yeah,
and let them just tear.
Yeah, and the funniest thing is that the communication. There is an unspoken communication with him, without a doubt. But he, when he's ripping and he's soloing, he will wait. And I, because my thing is I'll step back up to the mic, signifying that the solo coming to an end or a breakdown section. And he will, when he's doing this, I'm waving my head, by the way, in case you can't tell.
Yeah. He's on another planet.
He waves me off.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm not done, which is awesome. I love that.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, and then there's just the slightest little. He'll just give me a little glance.
Yeah.
A little side glance, and I'll know, or not even. I just feel it, but that signifying the end of the solo.
Wow.
Section, and that's his magic, and that's just. And the duo stuff that we do has really made that amazing.
Yeah.
That vibe. And then with the full band, it's just so fun because then we have a bedrock of all these other amazing people to play with.
Your song Breathe, do you, tough question here, maybe it's not fair, but do you prefer performing that acoustically or just you and Primo or 10-piece?
I love it and this is I guess the easy way out, but I love it all those ways. Sometimes I really just like playing it by myself, and then other times it wasn't really meant to play with the band, but at Spruce the first time we played it, we did like it with Primo, myself, and Steve Benson on pedal steel.
Yeah, the pedal steel on that song brings the song to a whole new creation.
Yeah. When we don't have that in the band anymore, so like on the recording, that it was awesome, but on the recording is cello that is over the top. I mean that's crazy, and that's a Los Angeles A-lister by the name of Cameron Stone.
Yeah,
and he's.
I haven't listened to my album version of that.
Oh, geez. Well, there's two versions. There's the live from Spruce Peak, which is the last track on it. Is a little bonus track.
I have the live version of that from your backyard.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It's on my phone. If you would like to buy that, I will sell it to you.
$1.99?
No, I mean, a lot more than that.
Okay. Yeah.
Because that night when I toppled over in the chair,
yes,
right at the end of the song, you remember the sky was a cotton candy. It was in amber. It was blues and oranges, and the stars were coming out. Saturn was just showing herself, and the crescent moon. My God, it was just amazing that night.
Yeah, those
the
backyard shows were so fun. Yeah,
and you paused at the end of that song longer than you ever have, I think.
Yeah,
it was amazing. It's just magical. You bring the magic on stage. You bring energy, but you also bring magic. How's Mom?
Mom's amazing. She's going to be there. She'll be at Trap.
Okay.
She's 91. She just came up last weekend for Riley's graduation, drove herself. And then this weekend she's coming up with my brother Mark and his wife Margaret. They will be attending the show as well. And then of course Katie and Riley will be there, and Bodie actually, it's his first year. Bodie won't be there, which is sad for us. He will be at the Governor's Institute. He got into the Governor's Institute for Technology and Design. Yeah, he's the smarty pants in the family.
George Wood sending us a note here saying that you played on the dock of the Valander camp on Nelson Pond.
Oh yeah,
August 16th during COVID.
Yeah, that was
camp
really fun.
Camp owners still talk about it that day.
That was a good time. Nelson Pond. That was a different vibe over there. I'd never I'd known a few of those folks, but that was fun. Thank you, George. Yeah, that was cool.
So some of the venues that you've played. Phew, God. Indoors, different opera houses, Virgins, I'm guessing, Claremont, Barry Opera House, Spruce Peak.
Yeah, Spruce Peak Performing Arts Center.
Where do you love the acoustics the most?
The Spruce. Definitely Spruce.
Wow.
It's crazy.
It's built that way, purposely, right?
Yes. I mean, definitely acoustic sound, that theater is just crazy. And that theater just feels like home.
But even if you're in that theater, if the theater is going to perform the way it was designed, you've got to have Ezra pushing the buttons.
Yeah.
And he just celebrated a birthday, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Ezra Mulhern.
Yeah, he's a good boy. He and Josh Niebling. Josh has toured with us for a long time. Yeah. And but Josh and Ezra just make an amazing team for sure.
You and I both have something in common. We both have Optical Expressions as sponsors.
Yeah, Mark Leeper. Thank you, Mark and Tim. They're amazing, and they're wonderful major sponsors of this show. And Mark's just so he's always so glad to do it.
Yeah.
I think that's a cool thing about like your thing and my thing is that community loves to support it because that's what we're about. It's not like we're just saying, hey, let me take your money. Like
Right.
we are going to talk about them. I'm wearing my brand new Optical Expressions, ridiculous. These are champagne frames, these babies. Yeah. So, I mean, those guys, of course, Capital Cannabis in Montpelier, they're amazing. Lauren's great. Jeff Curtis in vocal. And then, of course,
The Point.
The Point. And thanks to them for their support. And here's the cool thing: I haven't really spoken about it much, but I purchased a guitar from Godin, one of my acoustics, and Jeff Curtis from Vocal has given us a pair of skis, and Mark Liepert's going to give a couple pair of sunglasses, and we are doing a raffle, and the money there's families. That can't afford to come to the show. The show's expensive. I get it. You know, it's not cheap to go to a show these days, and everybody's trying to survive and make money, us as artists and so on. And there's a lot of costs that we have, blah, blah, blah. But we, the monies raised from the raffle are going to go to the Vermont Federation of Children and Families and Mental Health. It's a long name, and I'm totally butchering it, but it's Vermont Federation for Children and Families Mental Health. It's like VFI, and we've worked with those folks forever, and it's really important to us as a band to support community, but also support mental health. Like when I was a kid, kids weren't shooting each other and killing people in schools, and it's just, to me, it's beyond anything that you could imagine as a parent with these, and the root of it is support in the family, is knowing that there's a place that you can go if you're having a hard time, and that's what the Vermont families, that's what they do. They grab the family at the core and work with them together.
Yeah.
So on that note, if there are a couple families out there that don't have that much money, I'd be happy to have you come to the show. So if you want to just message JD, if you have some money, please buy tickets. But if you don't, message JD, and I'd be happy to guest you for Sunday. So. And JD and I didn't even talk about that, so I hope that's okay. But we're doing that with Vermont Federation. That we're sending a few of their families that just need to get away and come see music. And we're also doing it with Common Roots in South Burlington, other families there that can't afford it. So we're just trying to fill up that field with love. And of course, people that are able to afford tickets, then hey man, that's wonderful. But if you can't, let JD know, because we'd love to have you. So
how many people do that? I mean,
we'll see if anybody takes me up on it. Actually, amazing. Here's something. If you're in Barrie right now and you come up and knock on this window, I'll give you a pair of free tickets. Let's see about that. Wow. Let's see if anybody does it.
Wow.
Anybody? There's a guy.
Well, you don't know.
I know. If anybody comes up right here to this window, and if multiple people do it, I'll give away 2 free pairs of tickets.
Oh my God!
If your family comes, I'll give it to your whole family. How about that?
I want you to play. Obviously, I Breathe is my favorite song, but obviously, I want you to play whatever you want to play. And I know you're promoting this new album, that acoustic album that'll be out this fall.
Yeah.
Play.
Yeah. How about Inner Sovereignty that comes out on Monday?
And set us up with your sister Kip.
Yeah. So
tell us about this.
As Katie says, Kip operates on a different plane.
This is your sister.
Yeah. She is the next one in line in my family. In that I was kind of the blessed mistake that wasn't supposed to be. My niece calls me Oops.
Oh, that's nice.
And I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that. But Kip is the next one. She's 5 years older than I am. I'm the baby of the 5 of us. And she and I, we just have this connection. And so she wanted to write a song together. And this was a custom song that I did. And it really took on a life of its own that we didn't really know about. But when I say she operates on a different plane, Kip's thing is so much on meditation and on mindfulness and stuff that this ADD boy has the hardest time grasping, but I'm working on it. And I just think it makes us better humans, and helps us face the day better through slowing down. And so this is about finding your inner self and your inner peace, and feeling good about it, and then bringing that to the world. And so this comes out on Monday, although it's available on my site right now. This is called Inner Sovereignty for Aired Out. Am I enough? Seems worlds away. Find the light, unseen energy inside. Make my steps up, meet the dark night of my soul. Wakes me to make me whole. Amidst all the fears, let those voices disappear. Let the voices disappear. Inside is the doorway out. Inside is the doorway to my inner sovereignty. I am worthy where I want to be. Yeah, my inner sovereignty. Lead with heart and love, sacred feminine from above. All emotions, feel them all. Out of the ego mind we go, present to what makes us grow. Like a river, let it flow. Inside is the doorway out. Inside is the doorway to my inner sovereignty. I am worthy where I want to be. My inner sovereignty. From the ocean's floor to her crashing waves, feel the riptides stay still and alive. You are enough in the vastness of the sea. Find peace and just be. Inside is the doorway out. Inside is the doorway to my inner sovereignty, where I'm free to be the energy of me. My inner sovereignty, where I'm free to be the energy of me. My inner sovereignty. Yeah, my inner sovereignty. Ooh, my inner sovereignty. Yeah.
Boy, you got just all kinds of pictures and movies and different visions in my head listening to that song right there.
Yeah, it's interesting as just as songwriters, and I think sometimes you really feel, you really love one of the songs you've written, and I really love that one, and I love the collaboration with Kip. I mean, she's so awesome, and it's like the beginning for us, because we're also going to be becoming keynote concert performers. Kip is starting to keynote, and so we will do them together with that song and another song that I wrote for her that's not going on the record. It's a little bit more geared towards her business. It's called Be Real, which it is similar, but the inner sovereignty, that it was kind of a no-brainer to make it into our sets. And sometimes songs exist in different planes, different areas, and that's where they should lie, And this one was very clear that it crossed both barriers of us as an artist, but also as Kip and her message. So
I've never met your sister, Kip.
She's awesome.
I've always wanted to. What does she do for a career?
Well, so her business is she started a placement agency 30 years ago in Boston. Called the Hollister Associates. Now they're called the Hollister Group. They have a temp agency. They place CEOs, but they also have the Hollister Institute, which is an offshoot, which focuses on bringing mindfulness into the business, into the workplace, to create obviously better results in better, morality. Like in this corporate world, it's so easy to just beat them down. Like, you need to make more money, and that's not where she comes from.
Boy, she's striking the iron while it's hot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Tide is high right now.
Sure. No, the timing's amazing. I mean, I think that it's sad that it took this long to bring that in, but it's beautiful that it's happening. And she's definitely, she's awesome. So it's really, really fun and just fun doing it together.
Aside from writing and recording this new album, which will be out in the fall, what's the name of the album, by the way?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, Chad Hollister. It's the acoustic. Chad Hollister acoustic. I think it's the acoustic trio. Chad Hollister acoustic trio. Something along those lines.
What in addition to all this, in addition to being a dad and having a busy performance schedule through the summer, what else are you doing? Are you still custom writing songs for people?
Yes, still doing custom songs, and just finishing kind of the last one of that huge run that I had, and I'll be promoting that as well as my career and the keynote concerts, which is mixing the art of the keynote speech with my music and the message behind my music. I'll be doing that for from schools to prep schools to colleges to companies and so on. But really being a dad, just spending time with my family and my wife and my kids. Riley's taking a gap year, so it's going to be interesting just having Bodhi at home. She'll be back for the holidays and then be here in probably January, February, or she'll actually be down in Florida working down there. But she's so just really being with family. That's because there's not, honestly, it's crazy, but you can attest to this. There's not a lot of time to do a lot of things. I loved, I've been starting to exercise. My son, Bodhi has really gotten me. Katie and I go to the gym, and I definitely have to drag myself out. But when I do it, I just feel so amazing.
Yeah.
Because I want to be around. I want to be around for my kids, and it's, we ain't getting any younger. And
right.
So just keeping up with that stuff is so important. But
do you still get a lot of people, Chad, that ask you, so are you going to be playing at the Spruce Place again this winter?
All the time, and I do think so. I've been a little slow to the punch because we've had so much going on. But I'd love to be back at Spruce Peak for sure. And I think it might be time with the record and I've been gun shy because of everything, people coming in. I do know that this September we are at the Double E in Essex with the full big screen, and that's September 23rd. That's going to be an amazing show with the full band. That's one for the books for sure.
You just did a big art festival in Worcester.
Yeah.
Free for everybody. It was just amazing. I wasn't able to make it, but I heard it was just incredible.
It was amazing. We had like
pictures.
400 people come through. We had an incredible diversity of artists and musicians, and everybody was from Worcester. I mean, it was crazy. There's so much, so much talent in our little town. And David Book, who's the Vermont Historical Society, he'd be an amazing one to have on. You'd love David. He's a great guy, great human, and just a great character. He's originally from Kentucky, and he and his wife moved to Vermont many years ago. And his passion for history has really. I think, I don't know whether he started the Vermont Historical Society. I think he may have. And it's just incredible, the history of Worcester.
That's not a one and done, right? Please tell me. That'll be...
No, I think we've spoken about it. We still have to meet up and go over our things, like recap and talk about what was good and what could be better.
Yeah.
And I think we might do it every other year. It's definitely not going to be an annual because it's so much work.
And Cabot was a big one too.
Cabot was great, and they've got another one this year. It's they're really Dana over there.
Dana came in here.
They're great, and he's a great singer-songwriter. It's funny. We met, and I hadn't realized that just so many people that I don't know. What they do or who they are, and it's so fun meeting people and learning their gifts, because I'm definitely in my own bubble, and it's fine because I'm busy. Everybody's busy. You don't need it. I hate it when people are like, oh, I'm so busy. But and taking time for yourself is so important. But just getting the time to see other music is so it's challenging, but I love it when I get to see other music. This is my favorite band, by the way.
I love it.
The Nth Power is the best band in the world.
I'll have to check them out. And you just collaborated with a couple of guys that were just staying with you up at your house. They were on the air with me.
Oh yeah, Brent and Brad. Yeah, Elevato. Just they're so good.
Who have you opened for?
Well, when Bob Dylan and Paul Simon were touring together, we opened that show. Tom Petty was a big one. And then, let's see, Violent Femmes, Marshall Tucker, Ziggy Marley, Bob Dylan, Paul Simon, Tom Petty. Yeah, I mean those are some of the
Ziggy. God, I love
some of the big dogs. But Pat McGee band, and played with Pat. He's a good friend. We're actually doing Adam Ezra's Ramble together. Adam would be an amazing one to get on the show. He's a dear friend of mine, and is just really making
Adam Ezra.
Yeah. Making waves out there and just playing and playing and playing and playing and writing and writing and writing. We've written a song together. Actually, that's off of the Stop the World. Here and Now is a song that we wrote together.
What's bucket list for you?
Red Rocks. Yeah, Red Rocks and Royal Albert Hall. Oof. Yeah, with the Foo Fighters. How about that? I am such a geek about Dave Grohl. I love that guy. He reminds me.
I love watching his social too.
But I just love his whole thing.
Yeah.
He reminds me of how I want to live. Like just his generosity. So foo.
I've been told, don't ever ask a musician this question.
Oh, ask it. I can't wait.
Yeah, with you, I just feel like I can. Do you have what have people said to you before? Oh, you make me think of...
Oh yeah. So I get to Dave Matthews a lot, just I think because of the nature, the acoustic guitar. I've gotten Edwin McCain a lot. I've gotten the Counting Crows a lot. I've gotten Bare Naked Ladies. Oh, Bare Naked Ladies, we've played with those guys. They're great.
Goo Goo Dolls?
Yeah, I get Goo Goo Dolls a lot.
Okay.
I've never played with them, but I love Johnny. I think he's really, really great. Let's see, who else? Well, I've gotten the Tom Petty thing. Paul Simon, I get that a lot, kind of with my rhythmic thing, kind of the wake-up vibe.
Yeah.
And who else? Brett Dennen, of course, we've supported him a few times and jammed with him. Yeah, I mean, that's a tip of the iceberg.
What was it like for you when Tom Petty died?
It was horrible. I mean, I got a call from the newspaper because they saw that they Googled it up and saw that I had opened for him. So she came down and did an interview with me at Bookspieler in Montpelier, and I started crying. It was like totally caught me off guard because I don't think you think about what an artist means to you. Like for me, emotions just creep up on me. Like I'm fine, you know.
Yeah.
And it's whether it's talking about somebody that's passed away or an artist or something, and I get it sneaks up on me, and
Sure.
and that it really hit me. I think just because of what he did to music.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he just was so badass.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
with no apologies. You know, freaking poor kid from Gainesville, Florida.
Yeah.
You know, the Mud Hen,
Yeah.
his original band, and then they just weren't doing it. And he's like, all right, fuck, I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm going to L.A. And he did it. They went in a van and with no apologies went and just worked their asses off, you know. And it's the same thing with Dave Grohl, what he says, you got to suck in the garage before you get good.
Yeah.
And I think that's the truth. You got to work hard, and you got to want it, and you got to also, I think you got to be cool. You got to be kind to people and respectful. You know, if you want respect, you got to give respect. And sometimes that just, hearing about the racist stuff that's been going on of late with the hate, it's just there's no place for it. Tucson is a dear friend of mine, a poet, that they had to cancel his thing at the library in Vermont. It's just, I was just reading about it before I got here, and I just we gotta work on this together. Our world is in such a state of madness. I mean, look who's getting elected. And look who got elected, and look who's thinking about getting elected again. It's embarrassing, and that is just crazy to me.
Yeah.
And so we have to love more, we have to give more, and we have to care about each other and not put each other down, not put anybody down. Like, everybody's got a place. Everybody's welcome here at Air Doubt.
I love that.
And at my house and at your house. And when they're not, you got to check yourself, because there's something going on. And that's the stuff that is starting to go on, where I'm just like, man, I love Vermont, but sometimes I'm like, man, I want to move somewhere where people love each other,
Yeah.
And to think that exists here in Vermont, it does.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, Vermont's so beautiful, and it's, progressive, and, the state house and the politics are here. No, there's a lot of haters in this state. And there's no place for it. I get so passionate about it, but it's just sometimes
There's a lot of time being wasted.
Yeah, man, and I'm so embarrassed by it. It's like this, come on, we are so lucky. Like,
Yeah.
Think about this town. I'm just looking, and like the changes that Barry's gone through. But look at that friggin' the bear with a guitar in his hand over there. Like, just the effort. Like, they're trying, and people here, they want to do good. They want to do better. And so that's what we got to do. We got to support those people, and support the music. So
Chad Hollister acoustic quintet.
There's a good offshoot for you.
June, I love it, man.
Yeah, Sunday.
June
This Sunday.
25th. That's this coming Sunday.
3 days away.
Trap Family Lodge, Concert Meadow. The show's at 6. Gates open at 4:30. Spread out the blanket. Bring a picnic basket, glass of wine, whatever you want. Relax.
And just as I've been psycho checking the weather. By the way, Roger Hill is on board, calling me tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday morning. He wants to help. He's going to be at the show, and he's such a
Roger's the king,
amazing dude. But he
full-fledged geek.
Totally. Oh, we know it. Yeah, and I wouldn't. So am I. So are you. Yes. We're geeks unite.
We are.
No, but he. So the weather now, there is sun in the forecast. There's just like 1 hour, and just so you know, we do have a huge tent in the event of rain. So we're covered either way, but we're going to be in the meadow. But it's rain or shine, big tent if we have to. But it's going to be a gorgeous day. Tickets are still available. A few families. Let JD know. Come on in.
TrapFamily.com.
TrapFamily.com.
To get your tickets.
Or ChadMusic.com. But if you want to remember one, there you go. Optical Expressions Berlin, Capital Cannabis, Vocal, and The Point will be raffling off one of my guitars and a pair of skis and some sunglasses and raising money for the Vermont Federation for Children and Families' Mental Health to help out a little bit.
I love you to pieces, brother.
Yeah, you too, man. I appreciate you. I'm so proud of how you've built this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get out of here.
Oh no, we'll get you. We're going to airlift you right out. The ceiling pops out, and we'll get a helicopter.
I would say the helicopter would be really
Yeah.
key because I love helicopters
Hoyer
as long
lift.
as it's not windy because
Yeah,
I can't go.
We'll,
in that.
I promise you, we'll get you out of here.
Yeah.
Take us out with something, man. If you don't mind.
Yeah.
Just,
What are you feeling?
I want you to. I feel whatever you're feeling, bro.
Let's see. Yeah, you caught me off guard.
It's all right. Chad Hollister aired out tonight. Thanks for
Shady's
coming in, brother.
favorite.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother. When the wall comes down and you've lost your crown, the clouds they seem so dark, and you lost who you are, and the stone feels cold right down to your soul. Just find your core in the dark of the early morn. And you crave your home, and you're not alone in the air's your only friend. Just breathe and breathe once again, yeah. And it all seems so black and white, just like that winter evening sky. Just breathe and breathe once again, yeah. Said it once again, yeah. And again, yeah. When the rain pours down and you've almost drowned in the tears and the water blends, it's hard to see where you are. And that's getting so cold and you're feeling old, and there's a door, a soup and her walking, Lord. And you crave your home, and you're not alone in the air. Your only friend, just breathe and breathe once again. And it all seems so black and white, just like that winter evening sky. Ooh, just to breathe and to breathe once again, Lord. Said once again, hey, light, once again, oh, once again, oh, light, oh, and again. Ooh, 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 ooh. And you crave your home, and you're not alone in the air's your only friend. Just breathe and breathe once again here. And then it all seems so black and white, just like that Vermont winter evening sky. Just breathe and breathe once again, baby. Just breathe and breathe once again, yeah. Just breathe and breathe once again. Let's it once again. And again, yeah. See it and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. Just breathe once again.